Hey folks, Coach Josh Wood here. Today we're going to look at how to fit a backpack, how to put on a heavy backpack, and how to do that if you have some shoulder mobility issues. Now the first thing we want to look at is, well, this is my Spica Hunter backpack, hunting backpack. I'm using this one today as opposed to one of my lightweight backpacking packs because it's bulky, it's got a lot of straps, and it gets real heavy. So I hope you can see it even though it is camouflage, but this is a great one to demo with because it's just got a lot going on. So first things first, when we look at fitting a backpack, where we want the frame to sit should be from the base of your neck here, what we call C7, your seventh vertebra. If you feel down the back of your neck, that pointy bit that you feel, the first one at the top of your rib cage, that's about C7. And that's the highest we want our pack to be. Now, what you can do is you can measure from there all the way down to the base of your spine and find a pack that has a frame that correlates to that height. Most packs are adjustable these days, some more so than others. So let me detach this from my stand. Now, this pack has a really robust carry system because it's got a meat shelf and it's designed to haul a deer out of the bush. And so it's got a system to raise and lower this. So I've got it in a good position. That's something that works well with a friend or at a shop when you fit them. When you do adjust the frame or the harness system to fit you, do it with weight because it's going to shift a little bit. Now, let's talk about getting the straps right so that you can actually put the pack on. This one has a lot of straps. My Osprey Ether Pro does not have a lot of straps. So there's a lot of things on there that I can't really demo with. So I like this one for this because it's got stuff everywhere. So first things first, you want the pack loaded with a reasonable amount of weight. Somewhere around, 10 to 20 pounds or upwards of 10 kilos is a good starting point just to have some weight in the pack to see how it settles. Once you've got some gear in the pack, we want to make sure everything is strapped down. So make sure the brain or the cap of your pack is strapped down. Make sure your side compression straps are tight. Make sure any front compression straps, tight. Bottom compression straps, tight. And that way it's in the shape it should be when you get walking because you don't want the things in your pack wiggle waggling on your back while you're hiking up a mountain. So all of this should be secured. And just a general packing tip, I do have another video on how to pack a backpack, but just a general tip, don't hang anything outside your pack and try and avoid hanging things on the bottom. It's just stuff that moves, that can catch on tree branches. It's not ideal. Okay, so say we've got all of our straps done. This is well packed. And then now we want to put it on and actually fit it. So make sure you've got no funny straps sticking out anywhere. That's pretty good. So what we want to do first, the easiest way is to lift from the straps. If it's on the ground and you can put it up on a ledge, beautiful. If you can't, and we're doing this from the ground, you want to use the carry handle here. And the first thing we're going to do is lift, boom, onto our knees. If it doesn't have a carry handle, the straps work pretty good for that too. But what we want to have is make sure that all the straps for fitting are loose when we start. So we'll just make sure all the straps are loose. Should have done that first. Okay, so all our fitting straps are loose. We've picked it up, put it on our knee. Here, the first thing we're going to do is feed one arm through to get to the shoulder and then swing it around. Then we can put the other arm through. Now it's hanging real low and baggy because I undid my straps. What we want to do from here, once it's on the shoulders, is worry about the hip belt. So the hip belt is key to a good fit. The shoulder straps, they mostly just keep it on your back, but the hip belt is going to take a lot of the weight and put it down into your pelvis and your lower limbs. So to get this right, we're going to hinge and shimmy it up until the hip belt is cupping the top of our pelvis. We do not want it over the hip joints. We do not want it over our abdomen and squeezing in on our soft bits here. We want it here. Feel the top of your pelvis, that bone there. It should sit right in the middle of the hip belt. So we hinge and shimmy and click that together. And then tighten, pull in. So it's tight, but not crushing you. So we got that. And now it's going to be loose and floppy on our back. But it's not going anywhere because we're tight on the hips. This is the key to a good fit. Get this right first. So it's snug. Great. Now we're going to take the straps on our shoulder straps and we're going to go skiing like this. We're going to pull down and back. Nice. That worked really well. We're not going to wrench them. We're just going to gently pull them until they press on the front of the shoulder. Now, if we do this right and you've got the pack frame in the right position, you should have a little space just above the shoulder here. Not a lot, just a little. So now that's pretty snug. Yep, good. I'm happy with that. Now, if you just do this part right, you're probably going to be okay. Now let's fine tune. We have these load-bearing straps on top here. And what we want, because as this pack gets heavy, it's going to try and pull us down and back. We want to take these and pull them down and forward. Again, not making it too tight. We don't want the pack to bend over our back because it's always going to be pulling us back then. But we want to see a nice sort of 45-ish degree angle and a straight line with this strap. That keeps our pack vertical, not tipping back, not tipping forward. Perfect. You may or may not have straps back here. So these hip belt tension straps, you can pull in, and that pulls the bottom of the pack in and tight to the hip belt. Again, don't overdo it. We want enough tension so the straps are straight, they're under load, but we're not pulling the pack around us. All right, that's pretty good. The last thing we need to do, take this sternum strap, and we need to make sure it's in the right position. So originally, this was below these D-loops here. And that put it in a bad position for my frame because it put right over my lower ribs. And that's the area that needs to expand while we're breathing. We want the sternum strap just under your clavicle or your collarbone. So I moved mine up here. Click. And again, just pull it tight enough so there's just a little bit of tension there. We don't want to wrench it and we don't want it so low that it impacts our breathing. Up here, it won't impact our breathing because we breathe through this space. And all it does is keep the shoulder straps in place. This is not a load-bearing strap. It's not there to help us carry. It's there to make sure what we're carrying stays in the right spot. So just under your clavicle. And then you have a well-fitting backpack. And then every time you take it off, undo your straps, one shoulder, so you can swing it around and bring it down. And doing it step by step like that is how you manage a heavy pack. Practice it with a light pack so that when you get to a heavy pack, you don't undo your systems. The key to a heavy pack is, if possible, get it up on a ledge where you don't have to use your back too much. So hinge, pull, hoist it up on a ledge, and then instead of coming to the knee, we can go here. Once we get on a shoulder, we should be able to stand up with it. And then swing it around, feed the other arm through. Now this, because you just saw me do it, is already fitted. If I'm putting on a heavy pack, I'm probably gonna undo my shoulder straps each time so that when I get to this point, I have more space to feed my shoulder through and a little bit more wiggle room to sling it around. And then I go through the process again. And you'll notice I adjust my pants each time. I always pull my pants a little bit higher so it doesn't get pushed down from the hip belt. And so it's real heavy now. Let's say it's 30 kilos. Hinge. Click. Pull. Stand up. Ski. Then sternum strap, pull. If the pack is real heavy and you're gonna have to take it on and off a lot, you probably won't adjust the straps every time. But when you're just putting it on for the first time, more length in the straps allows you a bit more wiggle room. Now I mentioned if you have shoulder problems. If you've got tight shoulders or an injury, it can be really hard to go from this position and get that arm behind you. And a couple things you can do is, one, loose straps again. Keep the straps nice and loose. Now that's much more manageable. But to get the first strap on, it's going to be a lot easier if you can put it up on something, kneel, thread, hold, stand, and then move it around that way. So you're not having to dig behind you for that strap, but now you've got a little bit more space and you could just tuck your elbow in. So just this little slide. Boom. Here. That'll help for not having to pull that arm way back to find that strap. Alternatively, I don't have any friends, so I can't get a friend to show me or help me, but you'd have a friend help you get it up onto something tall, like a step or a ledge. And so you have it up like this, and they're securing it while you have very loose straps, and they can open one, slide the arm through, swap hands, open the other, slide the arm through, and then go through that whole pack fitting process. So I hope that gives you some things to think about. Just really think about that step-by-step process for fitting your pack. Every time you get a new pack, every time you get ready to go out for a long trip, just refit. It shouldn't take too long. It's that lift to the knee or lift to a step, thread the arm through, pull it up to the shoulder, other arm through, pull it up, hinge, hip belt, stand, let's go skiing, do your other tensioning straps if you have them, and then sternum strap and start going. And that's it.